Good morning, and thank you for being here. My name is Amy Fisher, and I'm the General Counsel of the Port Authority, and I'm this morning's hearing officer. With me to my right is Commissioner Joseph Kelly, and joining us virtually is Commissioner Rosanna Rosado. They serve on the Board of Commissioners, the agency's governing body. We're holding this hearing for public comment because the Port Authority is considering changes in its toll and fares for the use of our vehicular tunnels and bridges and the passenger rail facilities. We've prepared materials to assist in explaining the adjustments, including a written handout which can be found at the entrance to this hearing room where you came in. We'll also shortly show a presentation describing the adjustments. If there's something in the presentation you'd like to hear again, it can be accessed on the Port Authority's website. I'm going to give you the address, panyNJ.gov, that's our name in initials, /public hearings, one word, PUBLICHEARINGS as well. We're interested in what you have to say today. Comments today will be limited to 3 minutes per person. The commissioners are here to listen, but there won't be a back and forth conversation today about your comments. We have a clock to keep track of things so we know when 3 minutes elapse, and you'll be getting a warning when you're getting close to the end of your comment time. If you would like to provide additional comments after this hearing, there are a number of ways for you to do that. First of all, you can go to our website, same address, and make written comments there. You may also mail written comments addressed to Public Hearings Comments, Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, 4 World Trade Center, 23rd floor, New York, New York, 10007. In addition, you may provide comments regarding these matters at our December 12, 2024 Board of Commissioners meeting right here at 2 Montgomery Street, scheduled to begin at approximately 12:30 to 1 o'clock. You should check the schedule on our website to make sure of the exact time. All public comments made in any form on the matters described above will be transcribed and also summarized by Port Authority staff and retained by the Port Authority for consideration by the full Board of Commissioners. Thank you again for participating today. The hearing will begin after this presentation.
The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey was created more than a century ago to oversee the movement of goods through New York Harbor. Today, it operates an unparalleled transportation system across air, land, rail, and sea that drives the region's growth and prosperity. That legacy continues. As we move into our second century, we're reimagining what's possible by making once-in-a-generation investments to transform critical infrastructure. Replacement of the aging Midtown bus terminal continues to move forward, with federal and local approvals advancing and early works construction contracts approved. We're implementing the EWR Vision Plan, which will reimagine Newark Liberty International Airport following the successful opening of its new award-winning $2.7 billion Terminal A, winner of Skytrack's 2023 Best New Terminal in the World Award, among other accolades. We're replacing the outdated AirTrain Newark with a modern, reliable system and opening a publicly accessible entry point to the Newark Airport Rail Station, particularly beneficial for underserved Newark and Elizabeth neighborhoods. We deliver to the region a whole new, award-winning, world-class $8 billion LaGuardia Airport, named Forbes 2024 Best U.S. Airport and recipient of numerous prestigious accolades. We're completely rebuilding JFK with a $19 billion investment, $15 billion privately financed without public funds, a world-class gateway for a world-class region, opening 2026. We're enhancing PATH's reliability, capacity, and customer experience through the Comprehensive Path Forward Plan, a $430 million 2-year initiative to overhaul signals, tracks, and stations. We're rebuilding the entire roadway at Port Newark's main artery, reducing congestion and accidents. We're revitalizing and re-energizing the World Trade Center site in Lower Manhattan with the opening of the new Performing Arts Center, and a slew of events and activations across the campus have established it as a vibrant community destination. We're focusing on our commitment to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050 through initiatives to electrify the agency's vehicular fleet, prioritize decarbonization of legacy infrastructure, and aggressively implement greener technologies and practices. As the Port Authority executes on a historic capital plan, the agency is winning accolades from customers and critics alike, bringing critical transformations across the finish line and making tangible progress on major projects that have stagnated for decades. This once-in-a-generation overhaul of the region's infrastructure is strengthening the region's global competitiveness while creating tens of thousands of good-paying local jobs and improving the travel experience for hundreds of millions of people annually.
As the Port Authority executes on its historic capital plan, the agency is winning accolades from customers and critics alike, bringing critical facility transformations across the finish line and making tangible progress on major infrastructure projects that had stagnated for decades. Since the adoption of the agency's $37 billion 10-year capital plan, the Port Authority has achieved significant milestones, including the completion of a whole new LaGuardia Airport, recently named 2024 Best U.S. Airport by Forbes Travel Guide, the completion of Newark Liberty International Airport's new Terminal A, which opened in 2023 to global accolades, including Best New Airport Terminal in the World by Skytrax, a global aviation ratings firm, the raising of the Bayonne Bridge, the completion of a new Goethals Bridge, and the substantial fulfillment of the Port Authority's responsibilities for the redevelopment of the World Trade Center campus, which is being fully revitalized in partnership with other public and private sector partners. In 2025, we are investing $3.6 billion in capital spending to fund major projects, including JFK Airport's $19 billion transformation into a world-class gateway, the completion of the $2 billion Restoring the George program, and the $430 million Path Forward investment to upgrade critical infrastructure, including railcars, bridges, tracks, and switches to make the system more reliable and efficient. Additionally, it will fund preliminary planning and substantial work to launch the next set of priority projects, including the multi-phase replacement of the Midtown Bus Terminal while continuing existing operations, the total replacement of the outmoded AirTrain Newark, and the implementation of the EWR Vision Plan to completely reimagine Newark Liberty International Airport. Unlike similar agencies that operate and maintain critical infrastructure, the Port Authority does not receive any tax revenue from the states of New York or New Jersey. The Port Authority is a self-funded agency with revenue generated in part from third-party fees, rentals, and other charges to businesses operating at its facilities. The agency works aggressively to generate maximal revenues from non-toll and non-fare sources. While 65% of projected 2025 operating revenues will come from non-toll and non-fare sources, revenue changes from a package of toll and fare adjustments are proposed by the agency for implementation in 2025. The proposed adjustments are needed for two reasons. First, to address the $3 billion revenue loss caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and related inflationary pressures that have increased the cost of operations and cost of capital projects across the construction industry. And second, to continue to invest in the ambitious capital agenda for the agency's tunnel, bridge, terminal, and path facilities as laid out in the 2017 to 2026 capital plan. The following toll adjustment proposals cover the George Washington Bridge, Lincoln Tunnel, Holland Tunnel, Goethals Bridge, Outer Bridge Crossing, and Bayonne Bridge. Tolls at all Port Authority crossings are collected only from eastbound traffic. The Port Authority is proposing a 25-cent toll increase for autos, motorcycles, and trucks, effective January 5, 2025. The proposal also recommends that the board authorize 25-cent increases above the annual automatic inflation-based toll adjustments for autos, motorcycles, and trucks in each of the next 3 years. These adjustments preserve lower rates through Easy Pass and other discounts, including the Staten Island Bridges Plan, Another proposed change would eliminate an off-peak truck volume discount that affects approximately 0.4% of truck accounts. To give drivers time to plan, this change will not be effective until July 6, 2025. To incentivize enrollment in the Easy Pass program and encourage the proper use of transponders, the proposal includes two changes to existing toll rates, which will affect only 10 to 15% of drivers. Increased use of Easy Pass will significantly improve the efficiency of toll collection. The proposal increases the Easy Pass discount and delays the implementation date to July 6, 2025, to allow for an intense communications campaign to urge drivers to enroll in Easy Pass and use their transponders correctly to take advantage of the increased Easy Pass discount and significant Easy Pass savings. A new reduced fare program is proposed for path riders with qualifying disabilities. Passengers who qualify under this program would pay the same reduced fare rate as a senior citizen or $1.50 per ride, effective once the new TAP fare system is fully operational, which is estimated for summer 2025. The proposed changes are expected to generate approximately $150 million in additional annual revenue when fully implemented, to support investments in the interstate transportation network, which includes the PATH rail system as well as the region's bridges, tunnels, and terminals. Thank you for attending this public hearing. The Port Authority Board values your input. In addition to comments submitted here, the Port Authority will be accepting public comments on its website and via email through December 9th, 2024. Comments can also be provided at the December 12th board meeting.
We will now begin the public hearing portion of this meeting. We will start with the in-person speakers, followed by the virtual speakers. I'm going to read everybody's name who's signed up. Some people are here, some people aren't. So if you're here, step up to the podium. Thank you. John Tarano.
Speak up now, or you want to go through the rest of the list?
No, go ahead.
Hi, my name is John Tarano, and I live in Jersey City, right on top of Grove Path Station, actually. And the path is very important to me and my family. It's one of the reasons that we actually live in Jersey City. It's a very transit-connected neighborhood, and that's important for us. We walk, we bike, we have a car, and we drive around. And we also like to take transit to get into the city and to move around our very crowded urban area. So that's why I recently joined Hudson County Complete Streets as an advocate for the path. And what I want to say is that I actually really like the path. I think the Port Authority has done an amazing job of investing capital improvements over the last 10 years. The trains are clean. We got new trains. They're longer now, and we're seeing the improvements day to day, even the new electronic payment system. That said, there are two major issues that still have not been addressed that I want to raise. And that's the frequency of the path trains off-peak, and the other is the lack of a direct connection of the path to Newark Airport. When it comes to frequency, we're not talking about late at night or very late on weekends. We're talking midday on work days, in the middle of a Saturday or a Sunday. The trains run as little as every 12 minutes, 20 minutes, sometimes even 40 minutes between trains. And this just doesn't work for people. We see overcrowding in the weekends. We have huge numbers of people. Ridership has now gotten back to pre-pandemic levels, and the service is less than what it was 10, 15 years ago. And the lack of a connection to Newark Airport is also clear. It takes 3 connections to get from Lower Manhattan, from Jersey City, into Newark Airport. And this really should be a simple one-seat ride, extend the path 3 miles to go straight to the airport. I've had the privilege of traveling extensively for business all across North America and seen what other cities are investing in their transit systems. And this summer, I also was fortunate to travel through Europe as well. And I saw world-class cities like London, like Paris, like Madrid. They're investing in their transit, running trains frequently, sometimes off-peak 5 minutes, 8 minutes. And they're extending and connecting their airports directly to the transit system. So you can hop on in the downtown and go straight to the airport with one ride. It's good for business, it's good for the climate, it's good for residents, it's good for visitors, and it reduces traffic. And my interest as an advocate is finding win-wins. I think this is a win-win for the entire region. I want to work with the Port Authority and bring all the rest of the community members, hundreds and hundreds of people who want to see these changes, to elevate the path to the level of political attention to get at the kind of investment and the kind of legislative change needed to make the path successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jessica Carden. Okay. Talia Schwartz-Naur.
Hello, good morning. I'm Talia Schwartz. I'm a resident of Jersey City, and today I'm also here on behalf of Hudson County Complete Streets as the vice president. I'm representing our organization and our large volunteer base. Our mission is to improve connectivity and transportation equity in Hudson County by advocating for safe streets, pedestrian and cycling infrastructure, and access to transit in each community. We launched a public advocacy campaign last week, and we have with us today the signatures of 250 people who have written letters to date calling for increased off-peak service frequency and expansion of the PATH system to Newark Airport. In September, PATH announced a full return to pre-pandemic ridership numbers. We're very excited about that, and we are hoping that our campaign might influence the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey's 2025 budget planning process to invest more in PATH service and connectivity. PATH service has gotten worse over the years. Like John mentioned, Newark to World Trade Center weekday trains used to run every 10 minutes. It's now every 20 minutes, service cut by half. On weekend, trains used to run every 15 minutes during the day, and now they operate every 20 minutes. There's been a significant decrease in service across the board over time. And yes, the people who use PATH, we notice the difference. You are raising fares for worse service. We are well aware that track maintenance and upgrades can slow trains down, and we fully support efforts to keep us safe and the PATH running. But it's not enough to maintain current levels of service. We request more funding and that PATH sets new goals to run trains every 2 minutes during rush hour and 5 minutes off-peak. And then we need you to complete the work to make this a reality the way you do for all your other Port Authority facilities. PATH trains transport more people to New York City than any other road, tunnel, or bridge, yet its budget doesn't reflect how critical it is to the region. 3%, only 3% of New Jersey to New York City commuters use the Holland Tunnel. And if the Port Authority increased PATH service by just 10%, it would be more than the entire capacity of the Holland Tunnel. Instead of widening highways, we should be running more trains. The single best thing the Port Authority can do to address the climate crisis is to reduce the number of cars on the road. Cars are the biggest source of pollution in New Jersey. According to DOT, electric cars can't solve the problem alone. By running more trains and extending their train lines, Port Authority can be a leader in addressing our climate challenges. The Port Authority's project to replace the monorail simply doesn't solve the fundamental issue of getting people to Newark Airport via direct, reliable, frequent public transportation. The path ends just 3 miles from Newark Airport. Extending the path to Newark, replacing the existing transfers to New Jersey Transit and the air train with a single direct path ride will benefit residents, air travelers, and provide affordable commute options for thousands of airport workers. Thank you for your time. Can I submit these signatures?
Sure.
Yeah, you can. Thank you.
I believe that's all of the folks who signed up to speak in person. Are there other people in the audience today that would like to speak? And then I'll get to the people who are on the phone. Okay. Christine Liberatore on the phone. Okay. Christopher Greif.
I'm here. Good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Christopher D. Bryce. As you see my sign, that accessibility, the future accessibility lies with us. I had mentioned this yesterday. I will mention it again. I want to thank the Port Authority to finally putting in by 2025 the path train reduced fare for people with disabilities. It is very important that we continue keeping the path train fully accessible and easy access to accessibility, going from World Trade Center or 33rd Street Herald Square, as well as continuing on to New Jersey City and Newark. But as I heard a lot of people said now, and I'll say this now, we need to continue updating our train systems and making sure that everything is fully accessible, including signages, up-to-date and larger print, which you have done. But at the same time, also, we need to make sure everything is fully accessible and fully up-to-date, including maintaining repairs to elevators, escalators, trains, ramps, and everything. Let's please continue doing that. As I said this before, the future accessibility lies with us. We are the customers. We need to make sure everything is fully accessible in the path trains, the bridges, the tunnels, and the boats. All accessibility needs to be fully accessible. So let's please remember that. And for the record, I'd like to be clear that I want to be one of the testers, as well as I know Jason Anthony has said it, Deborah Wright has said it, and Ann Menino. We want to be the testers on the reduced fare card for the path trains, for the record. We want to make it clear so you guys don't forget us. Thank you and have a great day and happy holidays.
Thank you very much. Lauren Haggerty on the phone. Mike Greco.
Hi, everyone. I would just like to echo that the other speakers were extremely eloquent. I think path service is essential to the region, and it is something that should be further invested in. Thank you.
Great. Christopher Vasquez. Gallo Bonilla, or Bonilla. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Christopher Vasquez. Okay. Gallo Bonilla. Okay. Miso Demko. Okay. Andy Weiss. Donna Ristarucci. Eric Connor.
Yes, I'm present. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much. I had originally planned to attend in person. Unfortunately, I was called away. But thank you for letting me speak on this issue. I'm a longtime Jersey City resident and a frequent path user. I rely on the World Trade Center line to commute every day, and I frequently use the 33rd and World Trade Center lines to go with my family into the city. While on principle, I'm not opposed to a fare increase, I am concerned that we are seeing a 10% increase from $2.75 to $3, which would raise the cost of bringing a family of four like mine into the city on public transportation to $12 each way. So it's $24 round trip for a family of four to enter into New York or travel anywhere on the PATH system. This is especially troubling because we've seen what I estimate to be anywhere from a 20 to 30 to even greater decrease in service, particularly on the World Trade Center line. Now, I do understand that the path forward requires a certain amount of work to be done, particularly on weekends, and I am grateful for the investment in the system. I am troubled, however, that there are areas where service could be run more frequently, particularly between Journal Square and World Trade Center, because there is no work announced on the Port Authority's website for path between those stations currently. And we have seen further service cuts between Journal Square and Hoboken due to the track work between Grove Street, Newport, and Hoboken, and the Christopher Street stops. Now, if that service is to be cut, I would expect an increase in service elsewhere in the system to help families like mine who rely on public transit to get around to have more frequency. 20-minute headways is simply unacceptable for weekends, especially as we've seen weekend service increase to above pre-pandemic levels. Rider frequencies have changed because of the pandemic, and we are seeing more utilization than ever before. But service decreases worse than ever. It's really tough to stomach an increase when we're not seeing an increase in service in areas that matter. I also want to echo what other people have said around expansion of the PATH service. A one-seat ride to Newark Airport would simply make more sense on PATH and increase accessibility for residents of Jersey City and Harrison versus the multiple transfers that we have to go to now, as well as residents of Lower Manhattan. To spend $2.4 billion on the AirTrain versus investing in PATH is really, really tough to stomach as somebody who's a frequent user of the Port Authority's facilities. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Stephanie Martinez.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. I'd just like to echo what a lot of people have said, which is, first, I'd like to thank Port Authority for that accessibility reduced fare. That's awesome. Love to see more improvements, like it was mentioned, like the elevators and escalators, definitely. And I think the Port Authority should definitely prioritize what has been mentioned, like key improvements, so like frequent off-peak services. Right now, it's not sustainable the way it's running, like every 20 to 40 minutes. And since I work in Newark, I'm sometimes seeing like 50 minutes to, that's like almost an hour, and it's frustrating. And then it gets overcrowded. So I feel like there should be definitely more every, like, if rush hour could be like every 2 minutes or 5 minutes, like it should be that time, a reasonable time, especially like Newark to Hudson County. And the second key point that was mentioned, like an extension to Newark Airport. I'm young, so I haven't really traveled as much, but the time I do travel is like one time I went to Utah, and I was so like amazed by like how there is a train that goes directly from the airport all the way to where I had to go to in Salt Lake City for a conference. So I definitely would love to see that here in Jersey, especially since I've been hearing about like the World Cup coming, and I don't know what, next year or 2 years from now. So definitely need to be prioritizing that. I would be pissed off if I were to see a lot of people and overcrowding, and then, you know, people that work near New York and Jersey, and yeah. But I feel like there should definitely be improvements made, actionable, sustainable improvements, and especially to keep it efficient and reliable, reliable transit alternatives, especially towards congestion pricing and getting to that net zero that was mentioned, because climate change is here. So we should definitely have our improvements set. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jason Anthony? Okay. Isla Shermer? Oh, okay. Eilish Surmer. Okay. Tony Borelli. Okay, Christopher Vasquez.
Yes, hi, hello.
Hi.
I, like many, am also work as a volunteer as part of Hudson County Complete Streets. I'm also a resident of Kearney, New Jersey, part of West Hudson. Harrison Pass Station is my main station. It connects me to my work, friends and family. And I did want to, I'm on here essentially hoping that the path will improve the frequency of the trains in the near future. I know these past weekends with all the construction, there have been several 40-minute delays between the Newark and Journal Square connections. And that impacts a lot of people. And I know it's important that that we get those capital improvements completed. But I think when those are done, I think we should improve the frequency of the trains to ideally under 10 minutes, especially during off-peak hours, like John was saying earlier on. And a connection to Newark Airport would be extremely useful. There's no reason why public transit can't connect us to the airport. It would alleviate a lot of congestion on 21. And I just think it's just something that is overdue. So that's it. I'll just keep it short. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much. Just calling a few other people again. Jason Anthony.
Good morning. Can you hear me now?
Barely.
All right.
Better.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Jason Anthony here. I totally agree 100% what everybody said earlier. We need to increase the weekend frequency for the path because 40 minutes is completely like atrocity. Because over here, the MTA over here offers 20-minute headways for overnight service. So we could increase frequencies for 20 minutes or better on weekends. And my understanding is that the path should have been extended to Newark Airport since 2017. So I don't know what happened to that project since Pat Foy was the chairman and CEO of the path because he made that promise to us. And I was there when he made that announcement. And the reduced fare path, it should be a reality already. And your CFO, David McCarthy, should reconsider the fare increase of the path instead of being $3 to $2.90 because the MTA current fare is $2.90. So instead of 25-cent fare increases should be 10 cents. And being that congestion pricing is going to be implemented on January 5th, your toll increase should be reconsidered because the MTA is going to offer discounts for those who are going to use several of your tolls going into the Central Business District starting on January 5th at midnight. So you guys should have a dialogue with the MTA starting the new year. So that's all I have to say for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tony Borelli. I understand Karen Van Open is here and would like to speak, please.
I do not prepare like a written statement. Excuse me, if you could go closer. I did not prepare a written statement. I would like to add to what I have heard so far. I agree with the path extending to Newark. My brother came to visit me, and he was surprised that he had to take that train to the path to get here. And he was surprised about the price, how much it cost. And I told him, on the way back, I'll show you, what bus to take. That shouldn't be the case. There should be a train straight to Newark, that same path train. I don't really understand why you're all putting people on various trains with their luggage for that little piece of travel. That's one thing. I'm currently having issues with my knee because I had a fall. And that's when you really notice how hard it is for people with, with mobility issues to take the path. That lift that you got going on Grove Street is an abomination. You have to put your finger on it at all times, or because if you don't do it, it stops. I've seen it broken more than once while I needed to use it. So if you spend money on something, if we have to pay more, please put it where it's really needed, like those things. And I hear about frequency of trains. That's definitely something that's needed. Can't tell you how many times I have to wait in World Trade if it's after a certain time, and there's not even a space to sit. I think 5 people can sit there, something like that. So you really should look into it. But at the same time, I don't know if this is a good time to ask for more money. If I'm understanding you're closing Hoboken Station, and you're kind of looking at this from a business. So if I'm a business and I put up a sign that says under construction, I'm not at the same time going to ask for more money. That just doesn't make sense to me personally. So maybe you should wait on it until you fix all of that. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else you? Andy Weiss?
Hello. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I just going to give my notes here real quick. The path system needs to run more trains. That's obvious. Also, just we need more service during Devils games too. I'm a big Devils fan. We got a good team this year, and we can use some more service during Devils games. But basically, the most important thing, we need more trains, like I said. But the fare card system that you guys have a project with a tap fare card. Now, the tap fare card was designed by Cubic. MTA Omni is also fare system is run. It was designed by Cubic. So tap fare card and MTA Omni, both designed by Cubic, but they don't talk to each other. We're supposed to have a regional fare card. it makes no sense. It's a huge waste of taxpayer money. The PATH was supposed to, we should have one integrated system with NJ Transit. It makes no sense that TAP fare card is designed by Cubic, MTA Omni is designed by Cubic, and they don't speak to each other. And yet some of the stations, they share with each other, like 33rd Street, when you get off there, you know, you have the subway, the MTA subway, and it uses different fare cards. I just don't understand the logic of this. I think there's a huge waste of money. We need fare integration with MTA, PATH, NJ Transit, all in one system. The MTA Omni system would be great for PATH. So it's a big miss. And the NJTPA had many studies that showed that we need fare integration in our area, a regional thought process. Instead of each agency having their own fare system, makes no sense. Tourists come here, they don't know how to use the system. They have 3 different systems. It just makes no sense. I don't know why we can't have fare integration. Other states have fare integration with one regional fare card. And PATH needs to run more trains. You're destroying public transit by doing this. Just, you got to do better than this. Thank you.
Is there anyone in the room that has not had a chance to speak? All right, then we are adjourned. Thank you. Thank you. For the folks who are on Zoom, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.